Okay. It's 10 o'clock.
Okay, everybody should be on speaker mode too. Okay, so I'm gonna go down through a couple of slides and then our district trainer is gonna take it over from there. I just wish we were all together like we were before on these.
Yeah, there were always good lunches.
Oops, here. Okay. So Joe, do you want to?
Yeah, so good morning, everybody, and welcome. First, everybody knows Rosie, but I'm going to give her a little brief introduction. She's our Lieutenant District Governor, Rosie Rappel. She's been the past president of the Rotary Club of Ketchikan, First City, Alaska. She has been a District 5010 Assistant Governor, and she's the chair of the District Public Image Committee, as you all know, because she does all these great slides. And she has been a District Leadership Academy instructor, a Zone 28 instructor, and she's presented at Pacific Northwest Pets and Zone 28 West in Montreal. So, and Rosie is like doing all things extraordinaire on Zoom today. And so take it away, Rosie, and then I think it's back to me for some additional comments.
Okay, so good morning, everybody. We've got people working in the background, which is really wonderful. I want to tell you a bit about Joe Kukli, because she's our district trainer, and I don't think people hear enough about her. People who live around here and work with her know a lot. So she's a partner in the CSG Inc. Fairbanks law firm. She has been an attorney for over 30 years, and she's been a member of the Rotary Club of Fairbanks since 2005, and is a past president of the club, and I believe she's held every officer in that club. She currently serves as the District 5010 trainer, as she has since 2018. So, Joe, do you want to give your welcome or instructions right now?
Yes, and I just want to go through a few things that, I think most people know. Our 79 participants hopefully know that on the very bottom of your Zoom screen, now Zoom has changed a little bit. If you go under reactions, you can do things like raise your hand. We don't have a whole lot of time for questions today because we have a very tight schedule. So I guess I would ask you to put them in the chat. You can do all kinds of little reactions to your what's going on, to things being said. You can do a thumbs up. You can do all kinds of good things. Yeah, I do a presentation about the 19th Amendment. So in any event, so those are things that you can do since it's, Go Red, yesterday, National Go Red Day, and it's American Heart Month. You can put a heart, whatever you'd like to do. You can stop your video, but we would ask you to keep it on as much as possible. Up to the far right of your screen, the upper right corner, you'll see something called view, and we would ask you to put it on speaker view when you can, so that would be good, that you can see the speakers. So we have a very tight schedule today. Most of our presentations are 3 minutes or less. And we're going to try to stick to that very, very carefully. So with that, I believe Rosie is introducing our district governor, Joe Casci, and our leadership team. So I'm going to flip it back to Rosie.
Yeah, and Janine, are we recording? Just checking.
Yes, we are.
Thank you. Okay, so everyone, many people don't know outside of Anchorage and people that haven't worked at the DG line that Janine Becca, she's our district executive admin, and we can't do much without her. Believe me, she knows how to do everything. She's been working for 38 years in Rotary, and she's just an awesome, super friend that I spend a lot of time with, and I know all the DGs would give her a standing ovation. And she's an honorary member of Rotary. However, she goes to like 4 or 5 Rotary clubs and works for the district. So that's Janine, and she's in the background letting people in right now and making sure things don't blow up. Okay, so I want to talk about our district governor, Joe Cashai. So this is a picture of our district governor, Joe Cashai, and his wife, Dr. Therese Cashai, and they're from the Rotary Club of Soldotna. He is an attorney, twice president of Soldotna Rotary Club, and a 41-year Rotarian. He received his bachelor's and master's of science degrees from MIT and his law degree from Georgetown. He's operated a computer store and a color photo lab and is a multi-engine pilot and an active karate black belt, and has had 21 solo fine art photography exhibits with another at UAA Art Department this September. And he's married to Dr. Therese Cashai. And next year, drum roll, District Governor-elect Cheryl Mativa and her lovely husband, Marty Mativa, and they're from the Rotary Club of Susitna. She has been a Rotarian for nearly 18 years, attracted by the motto, service above self. She is looking forward to sharing the excitement of Rotary with vision and purpose as she steps into the role of district governor on July 1. Her husband, Marty Mativa, has been a Rotarian for 17 years and has served as an MC for many district conferences. Oh yeah, you guys are awesome. He is a past president stepping into a second year as president for the Susitna Club on July 1. The Mativas share passion for Rotary, which consumes a great deal of their energy. Good luck, girl.
Mhm.
And let's see here. Okay, and next up we have District Governor nominee Mike Ferris and his lovely wife Shannon from the Rotary Club of Anchorage South. Mike Ferris has been in Alaska since 1967. Mike started commercial fishing when he was 12. He will start his 27th year commercial salmon fishing in Bristol Bay. Mike has been part of the Rotary since 2003. He spends his free time in his cabin and doing projects at his house. Mike has been married to the same damn woman for 38 years. That's his quote. Shannon, did you hear that?
Oh.
I hope she's on there. You can ask him about that sometime. And our district governor designate, Mike Paulin, and his lovely wife, past district governor, Peggy Paulin, from the Rotary Club of Fairbanks. He's a past president of the Rotary Club of Fairbanks and serves as an AG for 3 years. He has served as a District 5010 Visioning, Strategic Planning, and GSE committees, chairs the Excess Reserves Committee, and was a training leader for 2 years at Pacific Northwest Pets. Mike and PDG Peggy have developed several global grant school WASH projects in Belize, and will celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary in March. Yoo-hoo! Oh, that's so awesome, you guys. What a great picture too, by the way. And drum roll, next year, this young lady, Lisa Phillips, is going to be our lieutenant governor, replacing me. And she's so much fun to work with. So she's a 9-year member and past president of Wasilla Rotary Club and graduate of the District Leadership Academy. She is currently the office manager for Matsu Title Agency, LLC, and Wasilla, and is currently the secretary to the Alaska Land Title Association. Her passion is Rotary photography and spending quality time with family and friends at their cabin at Lake Louise. And I want to let everybody know, in case you don't know, that these are our hardworking, wonderful assistant governors for District 5010. Starting in the south, we've got Southeast, Sharon Bergman from Sitka. Peninsula area, Lori Draper, Seward, and moving into that position is Jess Gutzweiler from Anchorage South. And I wonder if she's going to move clubs. I'm not sure.
She is.
Oh,
She's moving to Soldotna.
oh,
They're moving to Clam Gulch.
nice. Okay. And the Anchorage area is Amy Mackey Hornack from Anchorage South. We've got the Valley, Brenda Sheldon, and Northern Bill Wright. I Forgot what clubs they're in, sorry. And many thanks to our dedicated PDGs, and the list is humongous, and we should post that on our District 5010, and many of them will be presenting here today. So that's all I've got.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Rosie. And thanks everybody for attending. We're up to 89 participants, which is pretty awesome. When we were in Anchorage, we had room limitations. So this is great to see so many Rotarians just interested and caring enough about Rotary to, we're up to 90. It's like watching a thermometer chart go up. It's so awesome. So we're absolutely a little bit ahead of time, which is fantastic. And so I'm going to turn it over to District Governor Joe Casci to give his State of the District report. So for the next 15 minutes, Joe, and per your instructions, I'll be giving you a 30-second warning, not 30-minute, 30-second warning.
We're cutting everybody off. We're going to give you a 30-second warning, and then Joe Kukli, who aspires to the bench, will be going and gaveling people down and muting them when they get to that point. No, seriously, I'll be quick. I don't think I'm going to use 15 minutes. Although, if I may, I will reserve 2 minutes for rebuttal and all that. I'm going to just suggest that this has been a year we really did not expect from the same time in the same conference a year ago. The world's gone upside down. But, sometimes, as I've suggested, we have what biologists call a punctuated equilibrium, which is we kind of go along nice and smoothly. Things work out. Things don't change too much, but they kind of get out of sync. And then the asteroid hits, and we have to react really quickly. We react, we evolve quickly, and we do better. We don't react, we become, well, in time, we become dinosaurs. Our district is not a dinosaur. Because of all the really incredible folks in this district, we have actually risen and done very, very well under the circumstances. And I'm confident and comfortable that as we go and update and move forward, we will find that this period of somewhat uncomfortable change has actually primed us to do far better in the coming years. So our readjustment and our modernization, everybody's risen to the challenge. We've done great. Our district website and our district app are rapidly undergoing changes. I think if you look at the website in the next couple of months and the app which links to it, you're going to find a very different, more attractive approach with a lot more information that you can get to without having to go through your member login. So just look for that. Membership is held pretty steady. Everyone was a bit uncomfortable with what's going to happen to membership when most of us cannot meet in person. And we found that our membership dipped to, I think, like 2%. Very, very minimal compared to the concerns we had when Rotary was so disrupted. So I'm just pleased to say membership is held quite steady, and we've learned basically to find better tools to do an awful lot of business like this one, to do things that we could not do as easily, as quickly, as inexpensively as before. We found the ability to go and become highly efficient. At the same time, we all much prefer, I think, to be together in our traditional Rotary way from time to time. We're in a spot where we can go and basically use the best tool and the best approach for a given situation. So there'll be times like this when we have a district conference, a district mid-year meeting all around the state, people dial in rather than try to get to Anchorage. There'll be other times in our clubs and our regional get-togethers when we're going to get together, say hello, have a beer together. We just find the right thing for the right place. So one of the things we're doing, this district, starting with past District Governor Harry Keeling's Rotary Cares for Kids, our district has started a tradition of district-wide signature projects in which every club can participate if they wish. And that's ongoing. We have Rotary Cares for Kids. You'll get reports about that later. We have, we have the PDG, Diane PG's FASD education project for the communities that's, halfway through and is still in process. We have 2 online major signature projects that we're working this year that are either one halfway through and the other in the process of being organized. Bernie Grifford will talk about the major international demonstration project we're organizing for Kenya in East Africa. And toward the district conference part, I'll discuss the one we are halfway through in terms of basically helping bring new information and new organizational ideas to Alaska to help our communities develop and get through what's been a 5 difficult years, more or less, economically. We'll talk more about that later. I strongly urge every club to consider participating in these. They don't require an awful lot of effort. They don't require a great deal of expense. I will send information to each of those to every club president and PE in the near future. You can find the information about our international project in the packet, and you can also find the information about our in-state community and economy, local economy, kind of grassroots rebuilding process also in the packet. So they're both there. I would urge everyone to go and look at that. I'll be talking to the clubs in the next few days about participating. We formed a service committee, and the service committee is going to be there to help you and all the clubs go and help you develop projects with people with experience doing these, help you develop them, help you implement them, help you learn how to submit them, help you if you want. It's not mandatory. Help you learn how to go and close them out. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible for clubs to develop strong service projects at their own level or to participate in district projects. We will have people available to you to assist, developing, implementing, closing out your projects. We all know that we've implemented that online funding platform, Event Group, and we'll also, if there's any demand by clubs, we'll explore other online platforms as well. The district has to go and set that up. We have it available now to any club who wants to do it. So remember, if you have a fundraising issue, the state has issued an opinion that they are going to be very lenient toward online sales of things like raffle tickets. We have that fundraising platform where they basically do all the work for you. It costs like 5% plus credit card fees to do all the fundraising work for you. Consider going and getting involved with that if your club has fundraising needs that they haven't done before. You could even sell ducks online if you want to. I particularly want to thank past District Governor Ted Trueblood and incoming Peninsula AG Jess Gutzweiler and her Anchorage South Rotary Club for their excellent and strenuous and quite successful efforts to go and put together our very successful Polio Plus fundraiser from a few months ago. The money's been submitted, and ultimately we will, for every dollar that you put in, it has a nine times match to the Polio Plus effort in the long term. Finally, we're taking this time to go and update our contracts, our procedures, and everything else to make this district run as shipshape as possible in the coming years. That's all I have to say right now. I've made a one-pager in the report. I'm happy to take comments, criticisms, brickbats, suggestions when we go to the question and answer time between noon and 1 o'clock. Thank you. And Joe, it's yours. I think you can get started on the other ones a bit earlier.
I know, Joe, you had 6 minutes and 36 seconds, so that's awesome.
I know.
So right now then, we're going to keep going because we have a full packed agenda and nothing says we can't end early. The next report is from our new incoming district governor-elect Cheryl Matiba. Take it away, Cheryl Matiba.
Hello, everybody. I am so excited to be your district governor-elect. And when July 1st comes, we're going to hit this with a bang. My goal for the next year is, first of all, to make this fun. And before I get into that later, I just want to let you know what's going on in my life right now. I am in the middle of the International Assembly, And you'll hear the acronym IA, because we love our acronyms. But International Assembly is where all the district governor-elects worldwide, typically we would get together in person. This year it was supposed to be in Orlando. However, it became a virtual. And so it's 100% virtual. And I am in training starting February 1st through February 11th. My meetings start at 5 a.m. And then I have a breakout session at 9 o'clock. And that happens every other day. So I've been up since 4:30 this morning, but it is fascinating. And I have to say, every past district governor I've ever spoken with has told me that the International Assembly is their absolute favorite aspect. And I will tell you, the interaction that I am receiving with district governors across the world has been incredible. From, Holland and Germany to South Africa. And the insight that I am gaining is really heartwarming. And I think to each one of you as members of District 5010 and Rotarians, to see what's happening throughout the world firsthand has absolutely given me inspiration. And I hope that I can share that with you in the video that's going to come. The video that Rosie's going to show was from my very first session, where you will meet incoming international President Shaker, and get an idea of what our theme is going to be involved. So Rosie, if you'll kick off that video, that'd be awesome.
All right. So here we go.
Namaste. Hello, the movers and shakers of Rotary around the world. You, the DGEs, are the movers, and I am shaker. Today, you are taking a very important step in your journey of service and leadership. The forthcoming 17 months will be the most amazing, fruitful months in your life. You can turn this period into the most satisfying period of your life. During this period, I urge you to dream big, guided by our shared vision for Rotary. You will plan and set goals, inspire and motivate Rotarians to reach goals. Goals to expand the reach of our organization by increasing membership, and goals to increase the impact of Rotary by serving the world. And in this journey, you will play a stellar role as you share your goals with Rotarians and Rotaractors in your district and inspire them to do more and grow more. Friends, this will be our guiding mantra. Do more, as in bigger and impactful service projects, and grow more, as in increasing our membership and expanding the participation. Membership, friends, continues to be our biggest challenge. For the last 17 plus years, our membership has been at 1.2 million. Together, let us change that over the next 17 months. My dear change maker governors, here is your opportunity to make the biggest change in Rotary history as far as membership is concerned. What we have not accomplished in the last 17 years, I challenge you to accomplish in 17 months. But that's too big a dream, you may say. Well, if I ask you to dream big, I have to lead from the front. One of my inspiration comes from what George Bernard Shaw said. He said, you see things and you say why, but I dream of things that never were, and I say why not. So friends, the dream is to increase our membership to 1.3 million by 1st July 2022. How can we reach that incredible goal? The answer is, each one bring one. Ask each Rotarian to bring one member to Rotary in the next 17 months. Just one member in 17 months is all you need to ask of every Rotarian in your district. You can ensure this by leading by example and having your club presidents lead by example as well. As Rotarians in every club do this, they too will become change makers, as they will change the lives for good of each person that they make a Rotarian. Governors-elect, we need to grow more, to do more. I have always hugely been inspired by the motto of Rotary, service above self. It has taught me to care for others and share with others.
I don't know why it stopped. Cheryl, I don't know why it stopped. You're muted.
Cheryl, you're muted. So let's go back to Cheryl.
All right, guys, so we'll just jump back in here. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but Rosie, you did your part. I think if nothing else, that gives all of you the gist of the emotion and the promise that we have as Rotarians. I will tell you that every speech that Shekhar Mehta has given, our president-elect, has been that inspiring. I think he's going to be phenomenal. I think he's going to lead us into some new directions. So to each one of you on this call, there's a couple of messages I want you to carry with you. Do more, grow more. And that is right up there with service above self. And, you know, the challenge to we as governors-elect is to be change maker governors. And that is my goal. I want our district to be as healthy, emotionally and financially as possible. But most importantly, I want us to really turn our efforts inward. As a state, we have many rural communities that are lacking. And so my goal is that we will look upon ourselves in the next year and a half as a place to also make change, not just in the world, but in our own homegrown towns and in our own rural communities. So on that note, I will turn this back over to Joe and Rosie.
Awesome. Well, thank you, District Governor-elect Cheryl. We always look forward to working with her, and she and I have been involved in President-elect training, which has also been virtual. So it's been a fascinating few months, and I know she's been on Zoom an awful lot. So good for you. So thanks so much, Cheryl. And our next is
for people who want to give back to
is to go into our speakers. We have 14 speakers who have 3 minutes each. And shockingly, we are ahead of schedule. So we have several different things to go through. And the first speaker on that list is a report from our Excess Reserves Committee, and that's District Governor Designate Mike Pollan. So Mike Pollan, you're up. Take it away.
Thank you, Joe. Hello, everybody. What a wonderful turnout for this meeting today. Thank you all for taking the time to attend. Just a quick background, excess reserves is basically the surplus the district has. And what they do is at the end of the year, you take all the money that was not allocated otherwise, and it goes into the reserves. The excess reserves is a process where people can apply for what are called initiatives. And the idea is to have projects that will support the district and improve the functionality of the district, or to help fund district-wide projects. Last year, from the program, for the proposals that we had received, we selected 4 projects for a total of $43,000 in funding. And the report that I've provided for this is in your in the handouts that were provided. And basically, the projects right now are sort of in suspension because of COVID. The first project was one that's part of a global grant that Diane Fegis sponsored. And this involved a vocational training team that went to Australia, and they were to come here, and we provided $10,000 for that. That's been deferred till next year at the earliest. We also contributed an additional $13,000 for the Rotary Cares for Kids projects that Harry Keeling has put together for the district. That money is definitely going to be used. And then Joe Kashai had two projects that are described. One was a technology infrastructure improvement for the district, which we will use up. And then another one was a Rotary Community Development Resilience Forums, which is in progress now. Not a lot of money has been spent out of this, so some of this money will carry over or will go back to excess reserves. We are deferring some of the money that was proposed for visioning this last year, and that's being up 4,000 of that is being carried over for use in this year. And we did have one off-cycle proposal, which is in progress right now, and this is the Public Imagine project, which is a public broadcasting advertising thing for Rotary in South Central and the Kenai Peninsula. So we will be putting out a call for proposals fairly shortly, and look forward to seeing what folks have to propose to the Excess Reserves Committee. The bottom line is we have a low six-figure sum in excess reserves. So think big and let us know what you're thinking about out there.
Well, Mike Pollan, thank you so much. That actually, you still had 30 seconds left, so you did a great job. So thanks so much. And just so you all know, we are going to be taking a break here at probably in about maybe 10 or 15 minutes. I'm going to reserve that since we're a little tiny bit ahead of schedule. Next, we have Bernie Grifford, who's going to talk about peace and environmental security. So Bernie, take it away.
Okay. The International Peace Environmental Security Projects Committee is new this year. Joe set it up. Promoting peace is one of Rotary's main causes, and to be lasting, peace must be born from a population's sense of environmental security. And it's rare that any catastrophic environmental event is limited to just one area of human concern. Floods, wildfires, earthquakes, and other natural or man-made crises impact agricultural production, spread disease, destroy infrastructure, and force mass human migrations across national borders, and are more than a short-term localized event. Building on a Rotary Club of Fairbanks efforts in East Africa, District 5010 is exploring a large multi-club district-wide global grant. The international projects partners with the Rotary Club of Olulunga, Southwest Kenya, an area that is currently undergoing severe drought and food shortages, as well as collapse in our cash economy, which due to the lack of tourists in the neighboring Serengeti Park. Fundamentally, it's a water project, and we're proposing that the RI Foundation, an integrated program that addresses the environmental security of the designated area. The focus is to address resource scarcity, threats to peace, and factors that force people to migrate. The project involves building local capability to increase food, water, security, and economic resilience. Overall, we're looking at different things like water, peace and physical security, food security, adaptation to climate change, assist in bolstering a regional cash economy, and to hopefully improve the status of women in the society. The overall project is estimated to be in about $120K range, and our identified funding sources at this point are the Rotary Foundation grant, district match, a wash rag, 2K donation, and district club co-sponsors with cumulative donations of about $15,000 to $20,000. We do not expect the funding decision until the 2021-2022 Rotary year. This is going to be an ambitious project given the distances we have to travel and the fact that we are still in the middle of COVID. So there's more to follow on this. And Joe has put together a dynamite team, which I just happen to be part of. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bernie. That was great too. Boy, everybody is sticking to that 3 minutes, and that makes my job so much easier. So thank you so very much. I'm thinking we might take a little break after membership, but things are moving pretty well. So we'll see how we go. Next, we have Dan Dawson from Juneau to talk about our youth programs, Interact, Rotaract, and Youth Protection. So Dan Dawson, take it away from Juneau.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you, District Governor Cashy, for this opportunity to serve the district. It's been an interesting year with COVID-19. It's been very difficult to form, Interact, and Rotaract clubs, and our 3-year plan is to get more clubs. In Southeast, we've got some very robust clubs with members of 50 and 100 in Juneau and Ketchikan, with the Thunder Mountain and the Ketchikan Interact Club. And this year, the Gastineau Club in Juneau has brought back the JDHS Club, and I've sat in a few of their meetings and talked with their membership, and they're doing service projects, and they're up and running, and we're very happy for that. Rotaract is still moving forward. We've got an active club here in Juneau, and we hope there's one around in Fairbanks. But we're looking right now at trying to get an online e-club started for Rotaract within the district, and we hope that will drive some membership up. Other things that we're looking at right now for pets, it's my recommendation that we try and bring some of the new presidents in to really understand the importance of having Rotaract and Interact clubs in our district. RI puts a premium on Rotaract and has for the past few years. Very soon they're going to be able to get grants, and their membership will count towards our membership and clubs within the district. And it's important. It's the next generation. And, you know, you can talk about leaving a Rotary legacy and doing the work, but fostering the next generation of Rotarians is very important. And I'm passionate about it. And I think the district really needs to work together to get as many of these clubs as we can. Also, in youth protection, we're currently working on a district-wide youth protection policy. We were very close in November, but RI came out and changed the entire youth district policy, so we had to start over. But we're close again. We need to nail down some insurance details and some oversight details, where we were looking at some software that would help make it easier, but it turns out it was too expensive. So hopefully, though, by the end of this Rotary year, Governor Cashy will sign in a new district-wide youth protection policy. Thank you, Joe.
Boy, you ended exactly at 3 minutes. Thank you so much, Dan. Great job. And next, we have membership with Lindsay Knight from down in Kodiak. Lindsay, take it away.
So we have Ryla with Brenda, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. Lindsay. I jumped on Brenda.
No, that's okay. Brenda's good.
For keeping me. I'm so sorry, Lindsay. Lindsay from Kodiak. Stay tuned. Brenda Sheldon. I'm sorry. Brenda, take over. You're talking about Ryla. I missed you.
Well, good morning, everyone. I will keep this quick. We have a handout if anyone needs specifics on Ryla, and that handout also has my email address on it. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I won't repeat too much of what is on it. Our committee is getting together every 2 weeks because we have a Ryla planned that starts April 15th and goes through the 17th. Our alumni is active and robust right now, and they are helping us with this planning. So it is going to be an exciting event, even though it will be virtual this year. That is our plan. We have other plans if things change and open up a little bit, but we can discuss that one-on-one if you have any questions. Important things to know is that the club fee is $100. It's $50 for each student, and there is no limit at all. We would appreciate a $50 donation to our Kiva account. The students always love making those microloans. March 31st is your deadline if you're going to be a part of this, and we hope every club is. That was my goal this year, to have every club. And not only that, but to have a student from every high school in your area. We do need to mail a fun package out to the students. That's why there's a fee this year, but that's why we have the time deadline too, so we can get this to them. Again, if you have any questions at all, there is more information on the handout or specifics on RILA. And quickly before I go, I also want to do a shout out. I am the Interact Advisor for our Matsu Club, and I want to thank Rotary Cares for Kids, because this year we did a backpack program. So we received 36 backpacks and blankets from Rotary Cares for Kids, along with personal items, school items, and snacks. Those backpacks went to the 9 high schools in the Matsu Valley and was well received. And we are working one-on-one with our school counselors. So not only did I just do RILA, I wanted to do a shout out to Rotary Cares for Kids. And that's all I have.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brenda. Great things that you guys are doing with RILA. So that's fantastic. So next, Lindsay Knight now from Kodiak on membership. So take it away. Off to Kodiak we go.
So are we still all going to Simon and Seaports tonight? You know, just asking. So we all agree that 2020 was an interesting year, and I just commend PDG Andre and current Governor Joe for shifting gears and doing an amazing job. I like that adjective, interesting. It's so all-inclusive, and 2021's kind of been more of the same. I think one of the big challenges that we're dealing with is probably 30 to 40% of our members have not attended a meeting since last March, ever since we moved to Zoom. I think this is huge, and I suspect it is global, and I'm really pleased that we're only down about 2%. So 2 things. First, get hands-on projects, outdoor activities, projects to keep members engaged. Like in Kodiak, we had a few trash pickups. We did a couple of gardening projects last summer. We had a dual club picnic that was very well attended. We rang the bell for the Salvation Army. Our Kodiak Morning Charter president has not been to a meeting since last February, but he ran our Kodiak Morning Coats for Kids projects this November and December. And that started in 1995, and we've collected over 7,000 coats for kids. Another longtime member runs our local food bank, and he's not been to a meeting other than when I scheduled him to do a report on the holidays. So secondly, call them all, especially club presidents. You know, call these members and touch them. I send a text to every member every week on the upcoming program. You can't just send a member a bill once a year and expect them to be remain a member and to be engaged in Rotary. We face many challenges attracting new members to Rotary, as well as the challenge of keeping our existing members. And this technology is a great way to attract a new kind of member. There's a whole world of potential members out here that would never come to our traditional brick and mortar breakfast and lunch meetings in a million years, but they might be interested in attending a Zoom meeting, especially that younger crowd that we've been trying so hard to attract. Zoom is second nature to them. And we are also no longer limited by geography. We can induct people into our clubs from all over the world. I'm in the process of inducting a buddy from Minnesota that used to live here, and he was a presenter to our 2 Rotary clubs in Kodiak a couple months ago, which brings up another point of Zoom. We can book speakers from all over the world now. They do not have to live in our area. And living on an island, that's been a challenge. I've had speakers from Seattle, Minnesota, Minneapolis, Anchorage, Big Lake, all over. And when you have these speakers, invite them to join Rotary. We're inducting 2 new members into the Noon Club next week, and one was a presenter a month ago. And we have a couple of new members in our morning Rotary Club that were also presenters recently. So invite these people. There are many opportunities with Zoom, and this conference is definitely one. We have quite a few people here attending today. So keep that possibility for speakers and members broad. Even when we start to meet physically, keep that Zoom presence, because people can, like we have one lady that's a teacher remotely out in the villages, and she's able to attend on Zoom. So even when we get back to physical meeting, keep that Zoom presence, and it broadens your opportunity for speakers and for your members to attend. I always like to brag about and point out our District E Club. I love that club, and I'm an associate member. I've been attending for a couple of years now. They do Zoom right. so if you have not attended one of their meetings, please do. We meet on the second and fourth Saturday at 8 a.m. Each month. Yeah, I really encourage you to do that. You can learn a lot from those. So I was kind of pleased when Cheryl said that, had that little video and the goal of 1.3 million by July 2022, and one Rotarian and one member each year. Well, my mantra all along has been every member every month. Every Rotarian invite a guest once a month to your meeting or your project. And by that, but if you have 12 guests that you invited, you're going to get at least one of them over the course of the year. So we have about 90 people. Have you guys, every one of you, invited a guest to a meeting or a project in this last month? So do that, and it'll happen. I promise. So anyway, that's all I have, guys, and we'll see you at Simon and Seaforth.
Okay, and you'll be picking up the check, I'm sure.
I'm going to forward it to Joe.
Okay, our next presentation, we actually are moving pretty well. So I think we're going to keep rolling here, and we'll see how we're doing at 11 and maybe take a break then. We have Patty Merritt, who is with the College Club, who is going to do a presentation about these Peace Scholars, and she has a video. So I'm turning it over to Patty Merritt and Rosie.
It's actually the Peace Fellowship. It's a little different from Scholars, but you're right, that's what it says in the agenda, but the committee's Peace Fellows. And it's a pre-recorded, quick, less than 3-minute presentation that Rosie's going to flash on the screen. Hi, this is Patty Merritt from the District Peace Fellowship Committee. We're looking for all Rotarians in the district to please help us by referring good candidates to these excellent programs. There's 2 different programs. Both require a bachelor's degree and proficiency in English, and they can't be related to Rotarians or employees of Rotary. The first program, the candidates who are successful will earn a master's degree over a period of 15 to 24 months. The average award is $75,000, and there will be 50 of those awarded worldwide. The second program is a professional certificate. It takes 1 year, and there are 80 of those awarded worldwide, with $11,000 as the average award. The study is done at designated Rotary Peace Centers. From this slide, you can see the golden colors are where the master's degree programs are, and the fuchsia colors are where the professional development certificate programs are. The fellowship begins in 2022, and the foundation covers most of the expenses, including the tuition and fees, room and board, round-trip transportation, and any costs associated with field study expenses. Interested candidates can find out more online going to therotary.org, and they should take an eligibility quiz. It's important that they contact a member of Rotary, either the committee or someone from their local club, prior to applying. Our district deadline to apply is April 20th of this year. It's much more advantageous if they contact the committee earlier so that we can give them some feedback and help them improve their application. These are highly competitive. For more information, candidates or members of Rotary who are interested in finding out more can contact any member of the Peace Fellowship Committee. There's a list of those from around the district, and also my name and phone number with questions. We're looking forward to your recommendations. Thank you for helping us. And one last piece I would add to that is that if you want to have a presentation at your club, we have a longer PowerPoint. We'd be happy to provide it.
Thank you so much, Patty. And I'm sure you'll be around after we're finished with presentations and all to answer any questions people have, and people can contact you. That's great. So thank you,
Rosie.
Yeah, awesome job. Thank you so much. Always nice to have a little video there. Okay, well, we're just rolling right along. So next, we're going to have youth exchange, which are with our terrific youth exchange officers. We have Jeff Johnson, but I think Cheryl Keepers might be our presenter today. And Cheryl is also with the College Club. So Cheryl, is it you or is it Jeff?
I believe it's me today. Hello, everyone.
Awesome, Cheryl. Take her away.
Okay. Just a quick update. As you might guess, with the pandemic, we have no outbound students or inbound students this year. We do have outbound applicants for next year. We have 7 students that want to go for the long-term school year exchange and 3 who are interested in the summer family-to-family exchange. We're not sure if that's going to happen or not, but we're working with them and their families to have them ready in case the situation permits. Rotary International has taken a very involved stance on this, and we're waiting for guidance from them to see how we can move forward. In the meantime, we are using this time to review and update and improve our program. My phone number is on the handout, as is Jeff's.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much, Cheryl. That's great. And yeah, I think we're all looking forward to a time when we can get back to doing youth exchange. So I think it's been a big miss for all of us. So thanks so much for that, Cheryl. That's great. Next, we have Rosie Raquel, who is, no surprise, giving a public image presentation herself let me turn my video on, since she is our public image chair. And so Rosie, why don't you take it away?
Well, hey, everybody. You know, the public image and public relations, it's like being the cheerleader for all the projects, all the members, all the grants. If you want to get membership projects and foundation and retain your people, this is what you need to do. I want to show you this year, just to remind you that Rotary Opens Opportunities is District Governor Joe Cashai's theme from RI President Roger Neck from Germany. And if you look to the left, that's the official branding. So you can have that wheel up on your websites. The Rotary theme for this year, or next year, starting in July for DGE Cheryl Mativa, is Serve to Change Lives. And I just love that colorful hand with the colorful world. And that's from RI President-elect Shekhar Mehta from India. So if you look in your packets, you're going to see this wonderful paper that our team put together, and it's got some links on it. It tells you how to get to the brand center where you can get logos. You can go to the learning center and take a public image class, and you can do all kinds of things for people of action campaigns, and the links are on that paper for that. That's in your little packet. And anyway, your job is to get the word out. You know, don't forget, we have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, websites, newspapers, e-news, and you yourself are a public image person who can make presentations for everything, and at other clubs. And I just want to show you something really cool that came out of Gail Klein's club in Anchorage. And I'm going to get out of this and show you what she put up. And I'm hoping you guys can make your own like this. Hang on for just a second. I've got to get out of the last one.
Yeah, Rosie, didn't this run on statewide public television?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Anchorage East was so helpful. Thank you, Bill.
yes, Bill, and also I believe your club helped out in the excess reserves, etc. So I'm going to share this. Can you hear the sound?
Rotary clubs all across Alaska are looking for people who want to give back to their communities. Become a member today and join Rotary's 1.2 million worldwide members, neighbors, friends, leaders, and problem solvers who see a world where people unite and take action for lasting change. Membership information at rotarydistrict5010.org.
So you see the branding is very important. And if you get high resolution pictures and get these put up, you can make your own videos. You can put them on your own areas. And Gretchen, I'm sure, would be happy to help you get ideas on how you can do your own. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, great. And I'm sure you're referring to Gretchen Gordon, I'm thinking, right?
Gretchen Klein.
Oh, Gretchen Klein. Okay. Sorry, Gretchen Gordon from Fairbanks, but Gretchen Klein, thank you so much. Next, we have past District Governor Harry Keeling is going to talk about Rotary Cares for Kids. So Harry, you're up.
Okay, you got me?
We do.
Can you see me? All right. Thank you, Joe. And I got to tell you before I get started, I'm so impressed with the fact that we've got 100 people at this conference. And I'll tell you, the leadership this year, the district governor and his DG staff are just very impressive. And I want to thank you guys for all the efforts that you put into it. Rotary Cares for Kids, many of you know the genesis of it back to 2017.
My pleasure.
2017 at the Pets there, I asked the PEs there to pledge to get the program started. They were all very generous. The program has taken off. We've got a very healthy bank account. We've handed out 1,400, over 1,400 backpacks and duffel bags, done a lot of projects like Brenda said around it. Thank you, Brenda, for that shout out. We've done a lot of projects around the state, and we've been a little bit hampered, as Joe had mentioned, because of COVID. One of the big drawing cards and one of the fun things about Rotary Cares for Kids, when we have packing parties, to pack the backpacks and duffel bags with comfort items, and we haven't been able to do that. But we're gonna roll out here in a couple of months and get back into this full force. The one thing I would ask, the one thing in our business plan that I really would like to see happen this coming year is to get more representatives from the club. So if you've got somebody in your club that might be interested in helping with this, we need to plus up the staff and get more representation. Stacy and I have been able to keep it running, but I really would like to get membership people from the clubs. To date, and certainly over the past year, Fairbanks and Homer, Seward, Anchorage, Juneau, Rotaract, Palmer, Petersburg, Ketchikan, and other clubs have all participated. And I just want to thank you for your efforts and look forward to the coming year. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you so much, past District Governor Harry Keeling. That was great. And that's such a wonderful program. I think we all really appreciate your efforts on that. So the next 3 minutes belong to Patty Merritt again, who's doing double duty. She's been involved in our new growth and learning. So Patty, the next 3 minutes are yours.
I'm going to share my screen here. Can you see the growth and learning?
Yes, we do.
Oh, that's good. And we should be able to see it from the whole slide. Do you see the whole slide now? So the Growth and Learning Committee includes Andre Laurel, Gail Nepper, Alana Berg, and myself, Patty Merritt. And today we want to show you the new District 5010 learning plans and challenge you and your clubs to use them. It's easy to start. Just go to the district website and click the training link in the top right corner. You can see it circled in red. Once you're on the training site, simply click the Growth and Learning Center link just above the President-elect's training link. That'll take you to this page, which really has all the information you need, including a description of the Growth and Learning Centers, frequently asked questions, and the exciting club challenge. The best way to keep it going is just to scroll down and then you'll find the learning plans. While the easiest way is to go through the district website, you can also access the 5010 learning plans on Rotary.org. You select the learning plan under filters and then type 5010 into the search box, and it's explained on the district website as well. Here's our learning plans. You can see the different ones there. One is from the far right. You'll see the Rotary Essentials. That's a good one for learning about the beginnings of what happens in Rotary. People are using that sometimes for their new members. It's the perfect way to do new member orientation. The next one is Inside the Club, and it helps members understand and contribute to the operation of the club. Then there's Leadership Development, which has courses and hands-on activities to enhance leadership ability in all areas of Rotarians' life. And finally, you see Beyond the Club, which provides advanced leadership skills for district and RI positions. Once you absorb these, there are many opportunities to learn more about the world of Rotary. If you have questions, you can contact Andre Laurel or email rotary5010learning@gmail.com. Now comes the fun part. In order to be fully informed and connected as Rotarians, members and clubs are challenged to take some courses through the district learning plans. 2 courses only take 15 minutes, and 2 are just under an hour. Members who want to keep growing and learning can even earn more points, and there's prizes and there's recognition. So take action today. We want you to sign up as an individual and challenge some others in your club to do it too. The district will keep track of the points. All the club has to do is have fun. Put your name in the chat at the bottom of the screen or email us, and you can scan that little QR code if you'd like, or the very short, tiny URL there to find out more about it. I'll leave that up there for a second so you can scan it. Everybody get it? Should I stop sharing, Joe?
It'll be in the record, and I don't wonder if there's a way to copy it into chat, but we can certainly send maybe your presentation out. That was so great, Patty, and thank you to the Growth and Learning Committee. As the district trainer, you guys have taken on a huge thing, you and Andre and Gail, and so thank you. That was awesome, and it's an awesome program, so really cool.
Thank you.
Okay. So thanks, Patty. And now I think we are going to go over to past District Governor Diane Fegis, who I believe is tuning into us from the warm islands of Hawaii. So Diane, take it away. Maybe not. Diane, she was on.
I am trying to mute. Can you hear me or unmute? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen here. And yes, I am in Hawaii. I don't want to show myself because you guys might get too jealous. But if you can see the screen, the idea of the foundation committee and our responsibilities are basically to support the clubs. So we support you both in raising money and in helping you spend that money by matching grants. So we have the annual fund, which is what, when you give to the annual fund or you raise money for it through your club, it goes into international, but that's the money that comes back to us. And we also raise money for Polio Plus and endowment funds and other planned giving that go into the endowment funds. But it's really the annual fund money that comes back for our matching grants and for our matching of district designated funds for the global grants. So you can see that our support for our causes, which is our expenditures, that money that comes back to us goes toward matching your district grants. It goes toward matching your global grants, and also for the scholarships that Patty was just talking about, the fellowships. We also give to the International Peace Centers and Polio Plus and do vocational trainings. The other part of the club is, or the committee is to recognize donors. So we do that as well. And the history of the, let's see, let me see if I can come up. The history of the fundraising, as you can see on my screen, is that we're down a little bit, and everybody has done such a great job raising money for all of their local causes, and that's wonderful. But we also need to continue getting money into the annual fund in order for it to be coming in the next 3 years. Because if we don't raise more money, then we'll have very few funds to give back to you as clubs. So you can see that our fundraising is down this year. We have done wonderfully in Polio Plus, and we also had a long-term contribution from the estate of Sue Linford, who was both a wonderful personal friend and a wonderful Rotarian. So our general funds are great, but our annual funds are down a little bit. That's just a history of it. We can do virtual fundraisers, and Rosie and Joe can help you figure that out. There are quite a few clubs that have done virtual fundraisers this year, and you can see Zoom works wonderfully for this. There are programs that we hope you support as Rotarians, the district-wide ones like Harry's Rotary Cares for Kids, the FASD one that has been on hold for COVID as well. We're hoping to work with our rural communities. And so there's lots of things for you to do. If you would like to also join the committee, just let me know. And that is my presentation. Thank you.
And that, Diane, was great. And I love how everybody is sticking to 3 minutes. That's great. So now you can go back to working on your tan, Diane, but thank you.
Thank you. And good luck to all the DG. I'm so excited for the DG line coming in, and Joe has done a great job this year too.
Awesome. So thank you so much. So I think the next two presentations, so perhaps the next 6 minutes, belong to Paul Pasley, who is, I believe, the co-chair of the Grants Committee. And so Paul is going to discuss two topics: the Grants Committee itself, and then the grants process for 2021 and 2022. So Paul, if you are there, the next 5 to 6 minutes are yours. Take her away.
Well, can you hear me? Hear me okay?
We can.
Okay, wow, I get 6 minutes. Well, I'm Paul Pasley. I'm been in Anchorage Rotary, Anchorage East Rotary since 1991. And this year I'm going to be the grants chair. And today I am talking about one of the areas of that, which is the district grants. And past district governor Brad Gamble has been doing just an outstanding job for years in all sorts of categories. And I've been shadowing with him, and hope to keep him friendly to me so he can help me in this task I'm taking on now. And there's a lot that could be said. I see that on page 40 of the printout that starts lots of details about district grants and how to do that. But I wanted to focus on a couple of things. One is I want to ask everyone to really get used to going to the website for our district, which is www.rotarydistrict5010.org. And there's all sorts of wealth of information there. And we're trying to set this up so that you can go there, and under foundation, you can go to district grants and the other type of grants I'm not talking about today. So, and the point of all of this is that there are basically two things you have to do to be qualified to get a district grant. You have to go through a memorandum of understanding, implement things in there, and then you have to view a couple of videos, which is the idea of a grants management seminar. So I wanted, as a takeaway here, that website. The second website is www.matchinggrants.org. And if you go there, you'll see all of the district grants for our district and other places. But I encourage you to go there and look, because the way we're setting things up, the whole process is going to go through that particular website, www.matchinggrants.org. And you can see a description of the cases, the projects, and the financing. And there's a history project, there's a place where you can put photos and history. And it's a great resource, and it is the resource we're using for the program. Now, what else? I'm looking for people who are interested in joining in with this group. What my job is basically to do good stewardship of the funds that come in. Although the funds that are available for district grants come from the RI, and they're basically a return of funds that we as a district have put in, we have to have good stewardship of it and be able to account for those funds. So that's primarily what I'm doing, is maybe getting a little nitpicky about the whole business of accounting for the funds. But I'm very excited that Joe, District Governor Joe, is going to be having a committee that's going to be dealing with projects, district grant, and other projects. And I'm hoping in particular that we can get the word out to the clubs what a great resource this is. District grants, as you know, are at this point 1 year shovel ready projects that the club can do. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is the idea that right now is the time for the president-elects, if there's a foundation committee, but basically the president-elects to be sure to start thinking about these things, because April 20th is the deadline, and now's the time to start thinking about what projects you want to have for next year. So I don't know where my time is. That's basically, I wanted to kind of keep it simple, you know, those 2 websites and the fact that right now is the time to start planning. And I look forward to anybody who wants to talk to me about that.
Thank you, Paul. You still have plenty of time, and I'm sure all of those website addresses are in your handout, right?
Yeah, oh, there's lots of information there. But I think it's pretty straightforward. I know many of the clubs have done district grants over the years, and they're probably going to continue to do so. So we're kind of reaching out to people who maybe haven't thought of this resource. It's one of many ways that Rotary reaches out to people, but this is a really good way to do all sorts of local impact programs. We've had things like building a kids park, supplying kitchenware to, you know, soup kitchen, all sorts of things. I guess my second final comment will be that you're really limited by your imagination when it comes to these matters. And I encourage you all to use your imagination and think big, and let's do some good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paul. That's great. And it's a untapped resource that you can go to. So I get the final word in this 14, on the 14th of 14 presentations. And so I won't take long at all, because as the district trainer, I am in charge of training programs in the district and have been. It's a 3-year position. And so my position is ending in June 30th of 2021. And just a little bit about what the district trainer does. I've been involved in training for pets at the Pacific Northwest level for our president-elects. I serve on a committee of the Pacific Northwest Pets Trainers, and we develop curriculum for that program. We have been involved a little bit in kind of thinking about training on the broader Rotary spectrum. I've been involved in helping district governors elect coming in with this assembly, even though Joe has done a great job organizing today, because I just had a lot going on with pets. And then we also have help at training with the district conference. I think the incoming district trainer hopefully will be able to develop more of a committee. That's something that I think would be really important. Our assistant district governors have done a great job in helping coordinating training and efforts for the president-elects who are in their districts. So really the training, I have a little report in there. You'll see there's sort of 4 areas of training that I've kind of focused on. I'm so grateful to past district governors Gail Nepper and Andre and Diane and their committee has Brenda Hewitt and Patty Merritt in developing and redesigning the Growth and Learning Center. I think that's been a huge undertaking and they've done a marvelous job. And I hope all of you will take advantage of that in your clubs so that people can learn more about Rotary and that growth. So, and it's important to learn more about what Rotary has, because we just have more resources. We can do more good the more we know about it. And so getting the word out there is often really difficult. And that's something that the training programs can really help with. So next, we have upcoming the budget, but I don't know about you guys, but we're a little bit ahead and my morning beverages are calling. So why don't we come back at 11:20? That's 6 minutes from now. At 11:20, we'll have District Governor-elect Cheryl Mativa will come back and talk about the budget. So that would be great. We see lots of good stuff in the chat, including that Diane Fegis would be happy to have a presentation on global grants and fetal alcohol. So that's cool. But let's come back together at 11:20. That's now 5 minutes away. And then we're going to have District Governor Cheryl Mativa. Thank you so much.
On my 5-minute break, I'm going to see if I can't get a hold of people. So they're all probably taking a bathroom break.
I think I'll use the 5-minute break to straighten my name badge.
Oh, we can still read it from here, Joe.
Oh, well, then you're doing better than me trying to read it on that tiny pixelated part of the screen there.
Well, if I can figure out how to get my phone camera to work on Zoom, I'll give you a shot of the green palm trees outside.
There's my friend. How are you?
Hi, Diane, what we'll do is at the very end, we are running a little bit early, which is good. At the very end, we were listening about some of the district projects. I penciled you in down there, okay?
Sure.
All righty. And actually, an awful lot of what you are doing, Harry is doing, my year is doing, and Cheryl, well, I promised I would never say my year. This year, this project is doing, and Cheryl's plans are, they all fit together almost perfectly. I mean, they're all different parts of the same issue.
Yeah, that's great. That's the goal.
Joe, how much time would you like to talk about our strategic plan?
Well, I think, what do I have here? I think we have it listed for 15 minutes. I think it's fairly self-explanatory. My thought is to hit the high points and then just suggest that people look at the packet I've sent out probably more times than they care to get.
Okay, cool.
But as I've said, though, the beauty of things, Cheryl, is that electrons live for the life of the universe. So even if we send it to them and you just delete it, no electrons have died. This product has not been tested on electrons.
I hear you.
I think that's kind of a physicist joke.
I gotcha.
I know you did. I could tell.
Okay, so Cheryl, we have just a few minutes and we'll get back, and you look like you're ready to go.
Yes, she does.
And we haven't lost too many people. I always worry at a break. We're still at 94. That's incredible. We had 97 before. I think we had an all-time high of 98. That probably is the highest we've ever had participate at this meeting because we're virtual.
Well, especially since the room we used to use had a fire marshal absolute limit of 35.
Right, and we always pushed that.
Yes, to the discomfort.
As much as I enjoy meeting in person, and I think it's awesome, I think for the future, it's really wise to do this meeting in this manner. I think it's amazing that we can open this up to the entire district, and I would really advocate that at least for this meeting, we continue in the Zoom format.
Well, Cheryl, you get to make that decision next year.
Mike Ferris and I'll have a little powwow.
Well, and you know, the world coronavirus situation might have something to say about that too, but let's hope by this time next year, we're all going to be vaccinated up and able to get together. So at some level.
Plus it's cheaper.
It's much cheaper and you have great participation from everybody. It's pretty stinking great. So that's pretty awesome. So yeah, we have 1 minute till we're going to restart. You're still at 93. That's so cool. We have some comments. Agree during this virtually makes it so easy for everybody to attend. Yeah, very cool. I think Cheryl, you can finish your odds and ends right after budget. I think that's a good time for you.
And is Joe going to lead out talking about his budgeting year? Are we going to start with strategic plan?
Well, you're next on budget and you have about 15 minutes and then the strategic planning is you and Joe. So you have the next 15. So lots of people commenting about loving Zoom, doing a dual format. Chris Gray, of course, yes, would say hard to go for drinks afterwards when it's virtual. Well, you can have a drink in your house, Chris. There you go. Comments from Mary, I think it's Siraki and Juneau, agree virtually makes it so easy. And if you're flying from Juneau, you don't have to worry about can you get out? Pretty nice. Yeah.
Diane said she's happy to provide a club presentation on our global grant addressing overuse of alcohol, fetal alcohol, and disorders and expanding other factors such as suicide. Email Diane. I would love to see that.
Yep, that's really cool. Chris Gray, some people report, and I won't attach any names, that they're already drinking. So there you go. I won't, I'm an attorney, so I'll invoke the attorney-client privilege on that. Diane Feegis just put her email in the chat box. My kind of people, there you go, Chris Gray. But Diane has her email if anybody would like a presentation for their club. She can even do it from Hawaii, as we know. So she's everywhere. Okay. Somebody is asking about, somebody, Anchorage is having a wine tasting, but somebody asked if there's a list of all the international projects. Hi, hey, Joe, when are you going to send out the email? I think that's to Joe Cashai. And then we'll get going again.
We'll send the email out very quickly. I didn't want to inundate people too badly. So I thought of waiting till early next week.
Okay. Hopefully that will solve that person's or answer that person's question. Okay, well, let's come back together. It's 11:21 and we're actually just a scotch ahead of the game. So that's pretty exciting. So thank you everybody for tuning in and coming back. We still have 93 participants online, which is pretty incredible. So that's just great. So next the floor belongs for the next 15 minutes to our incoming district governor-elect Cheryl Mativa. A very important part of her year is her budget. And so Cheryl, take it away. Cheryl, you might be muted. I'm not hearing you. Cheryl.
Okay, I just came back on. I lost internet for a minute.
Okay.
Sorry about that, everybody. I've been losing internet all morning, so I've had some Zoom issues. So I'll jump back in here as best able. So as you all know, a budget is a fluid document. It's going to ebb and flow as things change. You're going to see on this, my budget, that there we go. Under dues, you're going to see where I actually took actual numbers of how many members we have in our district. And we built the budget from there. Slightly different in the past, we've often done a projection of not only existing members, but anticipated members. And we've had a drop in membership this last year due to COVID. So that number has changed fairly significantly, which affects the bottom line of the budget. You'll see there that number is 92,820. And in our past couple of years, we've had budgets where that number has been 106,500, 104,000. We've had RI contributions. I have it at 28,000. It's been as high as 32,000. So we've had a lot of ebb and flow over the last 4 years. So that has changed my budget a little bit dramatically in that if I follow the template in place, and Diane and I have worked on this quite a bit together, it does show as a negative budget. However, this is a fluid document. We do believe that if we really work at growing Rotary in our district and we really take, Shaker's message of do more, grow more, and grow Rotary one person at a time, we can get that number back up by increasing our membership. We do have excess reserves that we have as a backup as well, but not something we're building into this budget. But that at least gives you a basic of numbers and how we're moving forward. And I can see we're still scrolling, so that'll help you out. Now, what also will affect this is whether, for example, this year, DG Joe Cashai has been doing all of his meetings via Zoom. My budget is based upon in-person meetings, which obviously then involves travel and more expenses. I'm waiting to see how that is handled by RI as we move forward. As you all know, I begin as district governor July 1st, so a lot can happen between now and then. At this point, my budget is based upon me visiting all clubs in person, but I also intend to give each club the option of whether they wish an in-person meeting or they wish a Zoom meeting, and we will adjust accordingly. My lieutenant governor, Lisa Phillips, will be in communication if I am not, but you will definitely be hearing from either one of us. And while we're scrolling and you all can see these numbers, I would like to take this moment, by the way, to thank each one of our assistant governors. They have so much work on their plates, and they are that line of communication between the district governor and our presidents. And so each one of these assistant governors, they hold monthly or bi-monthly meetings with all the presidents and presidents-elect, and they serve as that communication venue between RI, myself, and the membership. So those are people that we really need to thank. And what is in that budget is some of their travel expenses, whether it's, getting to club meetings or pets or whatever. And that's what you're looking at now. These are internal numbers that deal with, for example, zone and that type of thing.
By the way, the budget starts at page 51 in your packets. If anybody needs to go and take a deeper look later on.
And we're almost done, gang. So then we'll just move on to some other messaging as soon as we get through the budget end here.
Is this good? That's good.
Yep. That brings us to that beautiful red ink. Just love it. We're working on that. So nobody needs to panic. I'm not panicked. And if I'm not, you shouldn't be either. We've got a finance committee that is made up of past district governors. I've been serving on that committee since I was nominated, and Mike Ferris and Mike Powell are both on that now. So you have wonderful oversight, and I think we're going to be fine. I really do. I think we're going to be growing membership, and we've got some exciting things ahead, honestly. Are there any specific questions before I move on?
Cheryl, I think it's appropriate to, let people know that the district is very solvent and very stable financially. Things are going to be fine. I mean, but I had a chance at International Assembly, Cheryl, to talk for last year, to talk with the district governor for Manhattan in New York City, one of the wealthiest parts of the US. We are in better financial condition than they are. We're fine.
Yes, we are. And so, yeah, my main reason I want to assure all of you, though, you're seeing that little red line at the bottom, that we are okay. And we've got more than enough in reserves if anything were to come up. But this is so that we have transparency and that each and every one of you know exactly what this fluid budget is looking like. And then before we move on to the strategic plan, I just want to hit a few things while I have so many of you. First of all, anybody who's on this call, or if you know somebody who's not on this call, but would like to serve in any district capacity, we have numerous committees where we only have 1 or 2 people, and in some cases we're looking. So if you have an area that you would like to serve or you'd like to grow your experience, don't be shy. Please step forward. You're welcome to contact Joe or myself or anybody you're comfortable with, but we're always looking for new blood, if you will. And then I'd like to just talk a little bit about how I anticipate 2021-22, our year together looking. So I've got about 3 areas that I'm really going to be focusing on as your district governor. And I invite you to walk alongside me. I think we can accomplish exciting things in our district because we're so diverse. As we all know, as Alaskans, we've got tremendously underserved rural communities, but even with the challenges of COVID, right here in a large community like Anchorage, there's a lot of areas to serve with homelessness and so forth. So some of the areas that I'm really going to focus on, I have a passion for RYLA and Youth Exchange. I think Brenda is doing a wonderful job as our chair of RYLA, and I'd like to see every club sponsor at least 1 student with RYLA and up to 3, so that we're really developing our future leaders. And those are our future Rotarians. Also with Youth Exchange, even though it has been on somewhat of a hiatus, or actually very much a hiatus, Jeff and Cheryl and the committee have been working very, very hard at taking our Youth Exchange program, breaking it down to brass tacks and rebuilding it in a really robust, vibrant manner. And again, when we open our doors to those Youth Exchange students from around the world, we're not only sharing the beauty and culture of Alaska, we're sharing with them a way of life that they would never experience otherwise. Marty and I have hosted 8 exchange students throughout the years, and it's one of the highlights of our marriage together. We're passionate about it, and I already have 4 of the students that we have hosted that plan to come back for district conference in Talkeetna, and I am really excited for you to see how their exchange here has changed and shaped their lives in amazing, dramatic ways. On that note, Tanya Gamble has been the Youth Exchange Treasurer. She has stepped down from that position. So if any of you out there would be interested in being the Youth Exchange Treasurer, it's not a lot of heavy lifting. And Tanya said literally it takes a couple hours bi-monthly, and she'd be happy to talk with somebody and give you the nuts and bolts of what's involved with that. So think about that. We're in need of a Youth Exchange Treasurer. The second area that I really would like to focus on is suicide prevention, which is so prevalent, not only throughout the country, but throughout our state in particular. I would like to create additional partnerships with Battle Dogs. And if you remember past District Governor Brad Gamble's district conference in Talkeetna some years ago, we had Rick Casillo, who's an Iditarod musher and the founder of Battle Dogs, talk about Stop 22, stopping the 22 suicides that take place with our veterans every day of the year. And so I'd like to create that partnership in a broader, stronger manner. And I would also like to partner up with the Alaska Police and Fire Chaplains, which is a statewide organization that goes into our rural communities and works with and trains young people in suicide prevention. And then thirdly, I'd really like to focus on our RI President-elect Shaker Menta's focus on dealing with the empowerment and education of females globally, both through education and prevention of human trafficking. Again, right here in our own hometown, we have human trafficking statewide that leads the nation. And I've always been aware of that, but when past District Governor Diane Fegis focused on that at her conference in Anchorage a couple years ago, it really inspired me. And so I'd like to create that partnership with My House, Priceless Alaska, and the Alaska Institute for Justice. Those are 3 organizations that are focusing statewide on eliminating human trafficking and helping counsel and assist people who are coming out of that horrible lifestyle. So again, those are my 3 areas that I invite you to join me in growing and sustaining right here in Alaska. Our district conference will be held in Talkeetna at the Talkeetna Lodge, May 13th through 15th. And that, after 2 years of no district conference, I am so sorry for Andre and Joe. It makes me sad. But I am robust, full steam ahead, looking forward to have a great conference attendance. And I really invite all of you to consider sponsoring the registration fees for first-time attendees. If you have ever been to a district conference, it is awesome, very often that opportunity that creates the aha moment. And so again, take pictures throughout this next year showing how your club is serving to change lives. And then we're going to use all of the photos you submit at that district conference to show how we are making change. The international conference for this year, which was supposed to be held in Taipei in June, is also going 100% virtual. So again, the next international conference that is scheduled to be held in person will be June of 2022, and that will be held in Houston, Texas. Again, a wonderful opportunity for we Alaskans to be able to attend an international conference right here in the US of A. It'll be much more affordable, and District International Chair who will be assisting me with the promotion of that conference is Julie Erickson, who is also the president-elect for Anchorage South. So you are welcome to reach out to myself or Julie if you have any questions regarding that international conference in Houston as well. On my call this morning for International Assembly, again, it was brought up every Rotarian every year, and we're really encouraging that each Rotarian in our district donate just $25, which is what, 5 cups of coffee, 5 lattes, $25 a year into that program. And we're really hoping that each club will look at creating, if you haven't already, an End Polio Now event, because again, we are just that close. So each one, bring one. It not only grows Rotary, but supports our district budget and Rotary worldwide. And that's it for me, folks. And we're going to move on to the strategic plan.
That's excellent. Thank you so much, Cheryl, for that. Sounds like a great year and some great causes, all kinds of great things in the chat box as far as programs and, you know, emails. And thank you, Julie Erickson, for putting your email if people are interested in Houston, all kinds of great stuff in the chat box. So that's great. So yeah, we are doing great. Our next topic is the strategic plan, and our current district governor, Joe Cashai, and our DGE, Cheryl Mativa, and Mike Ferris and Mike Pollan, our DG line, are going to take over. So I'm not sure who's leading out on that discussion, but I'll leave it to someone who has DG in their title.
Since it says DG, hey, Rosie, we probably don't need to have that on. Okay, thank you. There we go. Since it says DG only, that's the shortest of all the things, not DG elector, DG nominee designate. So I'll start, since I'll be the shortest with only DG in the title. We have some well, if you look at, starting at page 55 on the packets, if you want to hold it, we set out to go, the 4 people in the DG line, Mike Pollan, Mike Ferris, Cheryl, and myself set out to go and draft a strategic plan that would be flexible. These times are changing very quickly, very, very much so. And so rather than try to come up with some numbers that were hopeful aspirations, we try to come up with guiding principles that we would all agree upon as consistent over the next 4 or 5 years. And here they are. You know, we have some general goals, which are obviously increasing membership and increasing number of clubs, to be recognized across Alaska as a highly active and positive force for the communities, as well as in international project areas, and then to consistently develop multiple successful, highly cost-effective service projects by the district and its clubs. And we had to start with that, starting with Rotary Cares for Kids, then Diane's FASD project, and the projects we have underway this year. Hang on, oh, okay. I'm sorry, I was trying to read it, Rosie. I wasn't catching that. Trying to go, the projects we have going this year, we're well on the way, and Cheryl's already outlined her project ideas as well. These are things which every club can participate in optionally. Pulling together, we can do a lot. And particularly every bit of these, all these pieces fit together in a broad way of Rotary making Alaska and our communities better places. Next, could you go to the next page, Rosie? Thank you. So we came up with 4 primary principles. One are stronger and more effective clubs. And we hope to do that by working with club leaders to train them in leadership and to go and recruit additional members, working with the new club models. We have some challenge clubs. We're hoping that our district action team that we started will help them bring forward, will help them stabilize membership and finances. Now, we would very much like to go and facilitate partnership and outreach to underrepresented groups of potential new Rotarians, or I should say, not yet Rotarians, in particular Alaska Native groups, who represent by far the largest underrepresented, not yet Rotarians in our district. The appropriate way to do that, I think, is a series of respectful, gradual partnerships, where, as with the district projects we have going now, are grassroots economic and community rebuilding, FASD, suicide prevention, Rotary Cares for Kids. We find appropriate areas of common interest where we can work together. And then, of course, what we're looking for will be identifying some sort of hybrid new normal. The fact that we have 98 people on a meeting that could only previously accommodate 20 or 30 people is, I think, and it costs us nothing, shows the power of the hybrid model. And it's also very cost effective. So as we move forward with that, we will be trying to find the appropriate new normal. And obviously that's going to change. We hope to help clubs develop innovative cultures, and we'll be working with that through the service committee, and everything else next year. We'll be implementing, hopefully helping clubs develop and implement more effective club projects. Rosie, if you could go down a bit. Secondly, we've made a start this year at making our district more operationally effective. And we've gone down through a series of ideas here. But most importantly, we've developed a very strong consensus approach and a team approach, as well as a District 5010 action team. We did this a long time ago, and now has become now it's become Rotary's theme, as I understand, for this coming year. Rotary's saying you need to have a team consensus approach in the DG line. We do that, and we are going to work hard at maintaining that so that we have multi-year consistency. At the same time, one of our plans will be to go and sustain district-wide signature projects, improve technology, retain our stability, and continually find and upgrade things like contracts and technology, the like. Could you go to the next one, Rosie? And as I say, these are guiding principles. We look forward to people's suggestions on how we can implement those guiding principles. We certainly intend to provide greater impact through cost-effective projects in state to help our Alaska community statewide. There's strong consensus for the last several years, the DG line and to the foreseeable future of focusing on making Alaska a better place. We know that since 2015, we've had a fairly significant economic downturn, starting with the falling price of oil, and COVID certainly didn't help. We need to go and focus our efforts to make Alaska as a better place and to improve the areas where we can improve. So we're going to continue the culture of highly cost-effective district-wide service projects and help clubs do that as well. We, of course, hope to maintain support for the Rotary Foundation. Now, something that people should know, I just became aware of this morning during today's meeting. I became aware of an email that came from Foundation. Foundation is at this point, Foundation has become basically overloaded. They have more demands than going out than resources coming in. So they're going to be restructuring their grants programs. So simply be aware, we've been advised of major changes in Foundation's programs in terms of money being granted out and the like. At this point, we don't know how it's all going to shake out, but we will stay on top of that. We will keep people advised. And then, of course, our plan is
International Foundation.
Rotary International, right, the Rotary Foundation. And then, of course, we will be looking at, maintaining visibility and influence. We've started that. We're going to continue working at maintaining our visibility in a variety of ways. And thank you, everybody. I really don't have anything else to say. Cheryl, Mike, and Mike, thoughts? These are our guiding principles. We're not going to go on to the action steps, Rosie. They're just, that's too much detail for the moment, and it's kind of it's kind of preliminary as well. Mike, Cheryl, Mike.
I'm good. You did a good job.
I don't have any additional comments. Thank you, Joe.
Anybody else? We'll talk. We'll talk about this afterwards if people want to discuss, any of the presentations where we're going in something. Strategic plan committees will do that. Well, lastly, we'll wrap this up here. As I mentioned, our aim is to go and help our communities. That's this year's theme, and that's Cheryl's theme as well, broadly, as it has been the themes for Andre, Diane, and Harry. One of the things we're doing at this point, it's evident that when economies and local economies are under stress, people are under stress. Rotary clubs are under stress. Members are under stress. The whole community is under stress when we have economic distress. That causes a lot of other issues. When there's economic distress, we know there are increases in suicide, increases in alcohol use, what one of our members, who's a sociologist, calls diseases of despair. That has a lot of other impacts. It tends to undermine community stability. It tends to undermine family stability. It causes a lot of problems. Alaska has been, in a sense, almost in a third world economic environment. We are primarily dependent upon resource extraction, whether it's oil, commercial fishing, logging, or for that matter, tourism, which in a sense is likewise resource extraction. We're using our natural resources. And the problem with those kinds of, the problem with that kind of resource extraction-based society or economy is that it is too vulnerable. It's not resilient. The changes that affect it are typically beyond our grassroots capabilities to make a decision about our own destiny. their decisions made in government offices and in corporate boardrooms thousands of miles away. Last fall, we did the series of 7 economic forums every 2 weeks, which provided information about how we could go and look at a way of taking more charge of our own destinies. The continuation of those information forums will start in late February or the beginning of March. And that will involve bringing clubs into what is called the ASAP process. It is a national award-winning process. It was considered the best new community planning and economy rebuilding process of 2018, won national awards. Of interest is it was devised by one of our own E-Club Rotarians, Professor Don Albrecht of Utah State University. This process lets a neighborhood, a small community, a larger community go and start doing its own long-term planning process that matches community desires and preferences for where we're going with underutilized economic resources, with the idea that we're going to diversify our communities and our economies, make them more resilient. This starts to get at some of the root causes of alcohol issues, FASD, the root causes of suicide, to some extent, human trafficking. We're looking at the idea of going and helping us take charge of our own destiny and deal with root causes. It doesn't cost clubs anything to participate. Not a dime. Now, you'll see there's more description of it around page 63 or so of your handouts. So you can look at it more later on. It's paid for by a United States Department of Agriculture grant and some excess reserve monies. We are urging every club to consider participating. Basically, it's something you would do in your community. It's not going to cost you anything. It's not going to cost you anything to do that, but it will help communities decide where they want to go, how they want to get there, and how they want to diversify economically. We would urge every club to please do that and to consider, going and becoming involved in your neighborhood. If you're in a big city like Anchorage, in your smaller areas, Sitka, Petersburg, whatever, or particularly we urge clubs to consider participating in this second phase of the process by going and perhaps partnering with remote areas, whether it's Bethel, areas, say, outside of Nome or somewhere like that. Maybe help some of the more remote areas start working in the planning process as well. It's not going to cost you anything. And what's involved, as I say, you can find information in your own packet. But we would very much encourage clubs to go and partner with Alaska Native places or very rural places as well, who may want to go and become involved in the planning process, but don't have a Rotary Club, for example. So partner with them. That will, of course, be part of our attempt as well to go and more broadly partner with not yet Rotarian groups, so Alaska Native groups and the like. So anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, which I think has been my tagline for many of my DG talks. The information's there. I'll be contacting club leaders next week to discuss that with each of you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, District Governor Joe Cashai.
Short timer, no less.
I know we are 8 minutes ahead, which is awesome. So right now I'm going to ask everyone, so you've had your screen off. Everybody turn your video back on. Just
Diane Figes, Joe. Diane Figes wanted to say a few words about her FASD project.
Is she still on?
Last I saw.
I am. I'm both on phone and I'm on video, or I'm not on video.
Diane has a minute to go forward.
Oh, well, Joe, I thought we were going to discuss things in general, but I'm happy to talk a little bit more. Because of the COVID, our ongoing global grant for fetal alcohol spectrum disorder has been kind of put on hold. But the gist is we have selected the Nome area. We're working with the Nome Club at this point to try and do a community assessment where we don't have to necessarily go there, but the Nome Club with their resources will do the community assessment. Once we determine what they need from us, we don't want to just jump in to any community and say, here's what you need to do. We need to figure out what they need to do. So that's the next goal that we have, is do the community assessment. I would like to have all the clubs who are interested in participating, any members who are interested in joining us to complete this goal. The idea is to find out from the community what they need, use some of our resources, and not necessarily just money, but resources to actually do this. And then if it works, we can also take it on to other rural areas and even bring it back into the Anchorage, because we know we are one of the largest rural areas in Anchorage. So I'm happy to discuss more or do club meetings.
Awesome. Thank you. Before we open up for general discussion, I just want everybody to please turn on their video. Everybody who's been muted, everybody who has their video off, just for a half a second, turn on your screen, please. If you don't know how to do that, that's your stop video down here. See, I'm gone. See, I'm there. See, I'm gone. See, I'm there. So please turn on your video for just a half a second. Everybody turn on your video for half a second. And I see that our president from my club, Gretchen Gordon, is on. We always applaud, to thank everybody. This is the American Sign Language applause. And so we have a lot of great applause to do. I want to applause first to District Governor Joe Casci, who organized today. So let's do a little applause. Everybody wave your hands, all the screens. Look at that. I got 4 screens of people waving their hands. That's so cool. And then really to Janine Becca, who is our executive secretary. A little applause for Janine Becca, who just did a great job today, keeping us all organized, all up to 97 of us, which I think was just wicked cool. And then of course to our Lieutenant Governor, Rosie Rappel, who does all of our audio, spent a lot of time, and who's just she does so much in training. So for Rosie Rappel, awesome job. And I think those are the primary folks. So now I think I'm going to turn it over to, it's a general discussion time, and with 88 people still on the line, that is a lot of people. So look at your reactions. Do you see that down below? Do you see how you can raise your hand and turn it off and use your thumb and do all this cool stuff? If you have something you want to say, now would be a good time. And I think I have Ted Trueblood has raised his hand. So I think we'll turn it over to Ted. And then I think Mike Pollan, you have your hand, or are you just doing a thumbs up, Mike Pollan? Okay, he's just doing a thumbs up. So right now the hands up that I see are Ted Trueblood. So Ted, go ahead and unmute yourself, and we'll give you a couple minutes. I'm going to time people. We're not going to let too much time go. So you have a minute or two to raise an issue. Or
so I just wanted to thank everybody who participated in our mid-year meeting today. Thank you all very much. You guys are basically the heart and the engine of Rotary, and we're 3 minutes early, 2.5.
Which is pretty great.
Done.
Okay, Ted Trueblood, go ahead.
Now we'll just take questions.
Among the many hats that I seem to have inherited this year from my MIT classmate, Joe, one is co-chair of foundation and subset duties for Polio Plus and the Paul Harris Society. And so I wanted to say just a couple of words about recognition of our Rotarians for their generosity to the Rotary Foundation and the Polio Plus. That polio campaign that was so ably orchestrated by Jess Gusweiler of the South Club met its goal ahead of time. And so we've made a great grant to the Polio Plus campaign. Also, Diane mentioned in her budget message that we were down on annual fund donations, but very much up in total giving, thanks to bequest by one of our lost now Rotarian, Sue Linford of the Anchorage Club. And I wanted to mention that Sue will be posthumously awarded membership in the Arch Clump Society, which I believe is our third member of the Arch Clump Society now. A great recognition. The other recognition hat that I'd like to encourage people to respond to me about is the Paul Harris Society. I was put in charge of that too, thanks to Joe. And we have 39 members in the district. They have agreed to an annual donation of at least $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation. We also have 37 members, Rotarians in the district who could be members of the Arch Clumps, the Paul Harris Society, if they would just sign up. And these are folks that have donated at least $1,000 this Rotary year, and sometimes for many years in the past. And I might pick on my co-chair, PDG Diane, because she's made this kind of a donation for a long number of years, but is not a member of the Paul Harris Society. So I encourage those of you who do donate regularly to the Rotary Foundation to sign up as a member of the Paul Harris Society. And I'll be glad to do offline questions if anyone needs more information.
Great. Thank you, Past District Governor Ted. Looking for hands up. It's the kind of with 80 participants now, that's the only way really we can do it. I'm scrolling through screens, not seeing. Does anybody else have something for a question? I think Rosie, I think I saw your real hand. So Rosie, take it away.
Yeah, so during my public image report, and I'm really kind of bummed, I didn't mention Andre's incredible app. And it's being updated. People, all the latest names, I don't know if Andre, you want to jump in and say what the changes have been, but I do know because I work with him, but he does a lot of the work, I'm just saying. And we've hooked everything up to our Club Runner account at the district. And we've also done that with our personal clubs. And you can actually see who your speakers are in your clubs. And it's just such a great app. And I think we need to thank Andre for that. Maybe he has something to say.
I can be very brief. We've been working with 14 Oranges, which is the company that we've worked with on the creation of the app. And they just notified me late last week that they have updated from a CSV list that we provided them, which is all of the clubs, all of the members, and those members that have cell phones. We've inputted all of that into the app. We have a number of clubs last year that wanted to be a part of the app, and we're going to be reaching out and doing some training with the folks from 14 Oranges. I don't want to get into a lot of detail, but the one feature of the app which shows the most promise, and particularly so because of the challenges that we've had with Club Runner notifications this year, is we're able to do something called push notifications, but they're limited to 170 characters. We can create a committee group, we can create a large group for an entire club, but in order for us to really optimize the app, there's the portion of the app called District 5010 mobile app. There's also what we call sub-entities, and that's for the club use. So the clubs can put club information. They can notify their members of events, reminders, brief links to meetings and such to their members. That's the area where we want to work with the clubs that either have the app currently or would like to take another look at it. They, because of the pandemic, have been slow to get their second update to the app out, and is probably going to be later this spring. But this continues to be something with a great deal of support at the district level. And if your club's not currently taking advantage of it, please reach out to Rosie or I, and we will be in contact with you and get you up to speed. So Rosie, thank you for your question. And I don't want to take more time at the meeting, but thank you.
Thanks so much, Andre. That is a really cool app. If anybody has not been on it, they should. Let's see, anybody else? I'm looking for hands up. You can raise your virtual hand. I guess you can raise your real hand. So let's see if I see anybody. Patty Merritt, I see. Go for it, Patty.
There's been some chat going on about the Tuluxec Village, and I don't know if you want to formalize some kind of a committee, Joe. It seems like with the idea of trying to support Native Alaskans to come into Rotary, if we could respond to this immediate crisis they have, their water plant, I think caught fire or isn't functioning. And there's been some discussion in the chat about Mike Pollan as a good resource and the kinds of emergency technology that could be given there. I think if we could immediately get them bottled water, that somehow with a sign that says, you know, Rotary cares about you, something like that, it would be a really nice outreach to let them know who we are and what we do. And there was some interest in the chat about it. I wasn't sure if everybody saw it, so I just thought I'd bring.
Patty, why don't I let you, and since Mike is the guru statewide for remote water situations, why don't I let you and Mike talk about it initially? But I think the first thing to find out is the state of Alaska has FEMA money to deal with that. What's the state's what's the state doing about that initially, since they have dedicated staff to handle these issues and they have funds to do it?
What I heard last night was that the state was not reacting to it and they were running out of water. I know that Mike was up for doing this. My chat isn't telling me who's talking. So there were several people who were interested. I can't tell who those people are, but it seemed like maybe Mike or somebody is tracking who those names are for some kind of an action.
Well, the chats are always recorded. I'll let you and Mike talk, and we'll see what's happening or not happening at the state level, and then we can see about going from there. Although I will say that flying water into a remote village is a very heavy and expensive thing to do. Cheryl.
Yeah, we have Cheryl and then Brenda Hewitt.
So I was just going to say, Brenda's hand is up and she's very intimate with the situation. She deals with it on a regular basis. And what Mike Pollan has brought forward is not a long-term solution, but a temporary water filtration system. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes here.
Well, let's see what we could do the next couple of days.
Okay, so I think we have Brenda and then Mike Pollan.
Well, I'll take my hand down, but I work with community and regional affairs at the rural business, rural utility business advisory program. We're on top of it. We have been dealing with the community and with their water situation. They have some water that's being flown in. I'm sure that they could use more. They have a temporary system that's going to be able to come up out of Bethel, but it's only a short-term project. And we will be looking for a long-term thing. But yes, their washateria burned down. It was also the place where the water was being treated. And so now they have a little bit of help through the school system, but that's very temporary as well too. So
yeah, Brenda, could you work with Mike Pollan as well? So we see, if there are major gaps that the state's not going to do, although I would expect the state to, be responsive there. If there are gaps where we should be helping, just talk to Mike and then we'll kind of go from there.
Mike Pollan, you had your hand up.
Sure. What I sort of had the same thought that DG Joe had. Shipping water, it's 8.34 pounds per gallon. So we're talking about a lot of expense to ship water out to a village. That doesn't make much sense, certainly on a longer term basis. And I don't know who's providing the emergency bottled water that's going out now, but I know I quickly went to their website. It kind of got hung up, but it looked like that is being done right now. What I had proposed is there actually is a company, believe it or not, in Delta Junction that is manufacturing emergency water systems that are being used all over the world. They had them in Haiti, Colombia, South America, where they are manufacturing them. They ship them to Africa. And the original design was to have a portable unit that they could use for fire crews. It was a little thing in a tote with enough filtration systems, an emergency generator and pumps and everything else with filters. They could literally shove it out of the side of a helicopter that's hovering over the top of the ground, ride it up, throw a hose in the water, and make potable water for a fire crew out of anything that looked like water. And those are available, and they're on their website. It's called Camp Water, all one word, and campwater.com. You should go to take a look at it. It's absolutely remarkable. But John Doofendock, who used to be an engineer with Alyeska Pipeline, one of the pump station managers, he's a civil engineer. He's built this company. I've worked with John. He's brilliant. He's an innovator. He's an Elon Musk of small portable water systems. This guy is absolutely incredible. But if we wanted to do something that would make a difference, would be to have a portable unit like that with a Rotary logo on the side and ship it right out there. And he does this. He sent stuff out to the oil companies for emergency use. That's what they're for. And that would make a difference. They literally could go out. They have to drill a hole in the ice in the river and then keep it thawed out. But the bottom line is something like that would make a difference and would be very useful.
Mike,
I would defer.
Can you get the info for us right away?
I put it on the chat. I'll throw it on there one more time.
I'm saying, could you contact John?
Oh, sure.
You know John. Why don't you contact him and get us some parameters and information?
Sure, I'll do that. I'll do that right now.
And then we could. That might. By the way, how heavy are they?
Well, they're various sizes, but like I say, they were designed to be able to be put in a small airplane, kind of think in terms of maybe a Cessna Caravan, portable in a helicopter, etc.
So basically, a standard Caravan or a standard helicopter out of Bethel could get it out of there.
Yeah, think in terms of mid three figures in weight, 500 pounds.
Okay, and can you work with Brenda to see if that's being done or not being done by the state at this point, so that we can see what's being done there, and maybe we can go from there. Maybe talk to the excess reserves chair about thinking about that or something. Well,
I'll see what I can do.
Good.
Okay, so now looking for hands, I see Alan, I think it's Oxier. So our Oxier, I'm going to give you 2 minutes.
Okay, just a very quick comment. Obviously, there are people involved that can make this water system delivered to Tulaksak, and whether the state is participating or not doesn't make any difference. Let us get it done. Work out the details offline amongst yourselves. We've been on here 2 hours. Let's do the details offline and get the project going. Thank you.
Here, here. Alan's my club president this year, so you see what I have to deal with. On the bright side of things, I think we got the details worked
and
out.
Vice versa.
Yeah, right. I think the brainstorming was
you.
useful. Thank you.
So thank you, Alan. Okay, looking for hands, looking for virtual hands and real hands. Nothing says we can't end early. We have been on for 2 hours. It's been a very good meeting. Great statewide. Rick Tone, I see you with a real hand. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Go ahead. You need to unmute.
Unmuting here. Just a comment for Rosie, who's looking after the public image. I've been to the RI public image site 2 or 3 times and am absolutely puzzled about how to use the bloody thing. You know, I've tried to use some of their logos, can't get them to size properly for a newsletter or anything else. And just a general comment, I find the RI site overall, let's say, a lot of it is challenging. Perhaps be a little bit because I am somewhat technologically challenged myself, but I think RI could do a lot to make those things far more user friendly. As far as the particular issue of the public image, I think that is something that really worth making use of. But you know, I'm just decided I'm not even going to bother going back there again because it's just too difficult. So I need some training.
Okay, so Rick, there are other people that have said the same thing, and I would be happy to work with you. And there's a couple other apps like it's a POA, People of Action campaign that you can use. But you know, send me your email in the chat and I will reach out to you. I'll help you out. And if anybody else needs help, just let me know.
Rosie, how about if we go and get some brands downloaded and put them on our website where they can be downloaded further by people as need be?
Right, because I've downloaded all of them already, so it'd be really super easy.
Would you just get them to Christine, our webmaster, so that people can go on to the non-login part of our webpage and download them as needed?
Yeah, for the people that are listening, once you get those, we can send them actually out to everybody in the district in a packet. And if you use the PNG form it's at the end, it says PNG. You can take that and put it over the top of a picture and it shows up. It's really wonderful.
Good. Okay,
So
maybe we should just send it out.
Something out.
Why don't we send it out to every club president-elect?
Okay, sounds good.
Then they'll have it.
And Rick put his email in the chat box, so that's really, really cool. I see somebody else put something, the app, about app information in the chat box. Andre, so you've got that. So very good. Anybody else want to raise? And we are recording this still. Thank you, Janine Becca. I'm scrolling through 3 pages, looking for any virtual or real hands and not seeing any. So counting down like an auctioneer, asking for the first time. Is there anybody else who you're coming up or closing time, as they say? Last call, that's it. That's what they say at a bar. Anybody else? Second time for the last call. Anybody before in Chris Gray fashion, then you can go. It's now, wow, it's even after.
Melissa Cruz has her hand up.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, I'm from the president-elect for the Russian Jack Rotary. I just had a question about a project that was brought up during one of our district meetings held by Amy regarding Seeds of Change. I didn't know if you guys had any information about that project. I've tried reaching out to Gracie, that they said that she was the main contact, but I haven't heard from her. So I just didn't know if you guys had any more information.
Seeds of Change. Anybody know anything about that program that could get in touch with, is it Calissa Cruz? Calissa, is that how you say your name?
Yeah.
Calissa. I think I've seen you around for our pet stuff. I remember you. I'm not seeing anybody that has that information. I wonder who started or who was the initial germinator of that.
I don't think it's a Rotary program.
Okay.
I believe it's done through another nonprofit, and I think the local museum, Anchorage Museum, is working on it, but I can get you some more information.
So that's Chris Gray, Calissa. So maybe Chris can put his email in the chat box, and Calissa, maybe you can pick that up.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, and so Chris, if you can type away in chat, that would be great. And maybe you two could connect on that. Okay, super. Thank you so much. And then anybody else? I see Calissa, if you can lower your hand just because it confuses my small brain. Anybody else have anything else? Asking for the second to the last time. Last call, we're losing people. We have 50 people left. That's still pretty great. Anybody else have anything for the good of the order?
I'm just going to thank people for coming and persevering and participating.
Awesome. It was a great.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, so thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Super meeting, and we'll see you again.
So long.
So whoever's Janine, you can
Thanks,
end the
everyone.
meeting.